Have you ever felt like your child is slowly drifting away from you? The very same child who once used to come running to tell you all the stories that happened while you were away? The very child who used to start talking in a non-stop manner as soon as he or she steps out of the school? Now suddenly they want to spend more time in their room all alone. They respond back to you with just one word or two word answers. And so sometimes it almost feels like they are avoiding you. Most of us quietly carry this fear in our hearts. And that fear is, am I losing my child? If you have felt this way, please know, my dear friends, this is something very important which every preteen or teen goes through, and you are not alone. This is the most common phase which every parent encounters at some point or other. And the reason for this phase is your child has entered into adolescence. So let us talk about this important topic today. Welcome back to Simplified Parenting with Suhasini podcast show, and I'm your host Suhasini, a child psychologist and a fellow parent like you all on this beautiful journey called parenting. So, let us first understand, why do children start creating emotional distance from us? Around the age of 10 to 14, something very important begins to change inside the child's brain. The brain will start going through massive development, and their emotional world starts becoming more and more complex. And that is the reason why they start asking more questions internally, which some kids might express, some kids will not express, saying, who am I? What do my friends think about me? Where do I belong? So earlier, when parents are the center of their world, our children's world, but now we are being replaced by their friends, because friends become important, their opinions become more valuable, and privacy becomes more important as the child steps into adolescence phase. And most parents interpret this shift as saying, like, my child is becoming distant, he is losing trust in us. But what in reality is happening is, it's the growth. Most of us would have behaved in a similar way with our parents when we are going through the adolescence phase, is as a teenagers. So the first thing I request all parents to remember is that emotional distancing by the children is often a sign of development and not rejection. Your child is not necessarily pushing you. They are trying to find themselves, stand stand on their own legs. So let us understand what could be the reasons for this emotional distance. They're trying to stand up on their own, they're trying to become more and more independent. So they don't want your small advices every minute, every second. So they want to be given the space where they'll fall down, get up, try it on their own, and then succeed. But we as parents, with our sincere love and affection, we try to be there in their shoes all the time, thinking that our kid shouldn't fall down, our kid shouldn't fail. Even before they try that particular thing, we try to think through what are the failures that our kid might encounter in this journey, so that we can iron out all those failures, we can remove those failures, and make the pathway very safe and secure for him, which our children does not want at this age, because they have to learn it on their own. You cannot walk this path on your child's behalf, they need to walk. And that is the reason why they try to push us to little background, because being independent sometimes looks like having a distance between parents and the child. And second thing, as I already mentioned, their brain is going through tremendous amount of changes. So that is the reason why they might feel new emotions which hitherto have not been experienced, like attraction, comparison with peers, fear of getting judged by everyone, pressure to fit in, and a lot of insecurities keep cropping up because of the body image issues, friendship issues, and everything. But unfortunately, at this juncture, our teens or preteens don't have the enough emotional vocabulary to express their feelings. So instead of talking about them, they just try to withdraw, because silence is their way of coping up. And that is the reason why we need to give them the space to understand what is actually they are going through, so that they can come out and tell us what they're going through, and how, what is the help that they might need from us. So that is the reason why teens start pushing, going back, because the moment they sit down with us, we will be either giving lecture or advice or moral lecture lessons, which they don't want, they don't really relish it. So they, what they want is just calm and secure, emotionally resilient parents who give them the space to think through understand what they're going through, and that is the reason why they are looking for somebody who can listen to them without judging them. And nowadays social media is becoming that kind of platform where they can just only keep posting comments without somebody telling them this comment is right, this comment is bad, this comment is not good, right? It's only one way traffic that either they can post or they can just view. So that is the reason why some of the teens are getting addicted to the social media world as well. And their social world is also expanding. Friends are becoming their emotional support, identity mirrors, and the sense of belonging. And this is being actually multiplied with the help of social media as well. So that is the reason why most parents think that my child is caring more about his friends than his family. He likes to spend more time on the Instagram, TikTok, or in short reels rather than spending time with us. But the reason is it's becoming their emotional support. So your child is learning how to exist in this world beyond the immediate family environment. And let him try it out. And then they are protecting their vulnerability. Sometimes emotional distance happens when teens feel they are misunderstood, they might be criticized, they might be compared or pressured. Instead of confronting parents directly, they try to create emotional space because distance feels sometimes more safer than the conflict. But when we as parents start feeling that our child is pulling away, our instinct is to immediately jump in and try to pull the child more closer, keep the child with us, which is completely understandable. But instead of asking too many questions, insisting on long conversations, if we give our children the space to be calm, be themselves for sometimes, then they'll come back to us. You already know this story, right? If you take sand in open palms, that sand will stay with you. But if you try to hold the sand in and close your fist, all the sand particles will slip away from the holes between the fingers, isn't it? That is the very reason the tighter we hold our children, the more they start pulling away. So we need to give them that freedom to fall down, explore on their own, and be their anchoring thread, like how the thread from the kite is a thing that keeps the kite up in the sky steady when the person down on the earth is holding that kite. In the similar way, we need to hold our children as the anchoring thread, not as the full person. So how do we rebuild this connection with our child? We need to stop interrogating them completely. Try to have some open conversations, saying like, share your day and ask about what happened with their day. And they say sometimes like it's okay, it's fine, then just accept it and move on. Don't stay there and start insisting for a longer conversations, and have some conversations on a side to side manner, because teens fear your body language, your judgment basically, and they can sense your judgment through your eye rolls, body language, facial expressions, and everything. So they prefer opening up to you when you're walking together or driving together, where they don't have to see your face and respond back. So doing when you're cooking together, when you both are standing side to side without seeing their face, they start opening up their heart to you. So create some of those opportunities where you both are doing this something together, be it be walking, driving, cooking, eating, where you don't have to see each other's face while responding back. When your teen starts opening up during when you are doing these kind of chores which we have mentioned earlier, become a safe listener. Let your team tell what is bothering him or what is there in their heart. When the teen feels heard, they'll start opening up more and more, and then you will actually get total insight into their world. The last but not the least is always respect their emotions. Every emotion has a valid and very good reason to be in their life. So you have to give them the space to respect their emotions and help them to think through the different situations, so and regulate those emotions on their own. So, before we end today's message, I want to leave you with one comforting thought. The door to your child's heart rarely closes permanently. Sometimes it simply stays quiet only for a while. And during this time, what matters most is not the constant conversations. What matters is your steady presence, your calmness, your emotional safety, your patience. Because parenting preteens and teens is not about holding them tightly every moment like how we should do during their toddler days. It's about standing steady like a lighthouse when they start slowly learn who they are and they are riding through the calm or disturbed waters of the life. So today, instead of asking why my child is pushing me away, maybe you can ask a different question. How can I become a safe harbor for my child to return back? Because when the child knows that they are safe with you, they will definitely come back even after they wander for quite some time. If you find this episode helpful, do share it with another parent who might be going through the same phase. And I'll see you again in the next episode of Simplified Parenting with Suhasni. Until then, take care and keep parenting with patience and compassion. Bye bye.